Okay, Year 10, welcome back. You can see that I've added a lot more trees around here. I've not tried to match it up perfectly to this. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm just going to keep it fairly simple. So what we're going to work on this time is this truck, or this little van here. And it's a pretty easy shape, but there are some complexities to it and some things that we'll need to do that we haven't actually done yet. So let's go into this here and we're going to make it quite big. So I'm going to add a new cube and isolate that cube. All right, so going into here, I'm going to scale this in edit mode along the y-axis a little bit. So if I look at the van, it looks like it's almost twice as wide as it is long. I mean, twice as long as it is wide. So close to there, we'll go a little bit more. All right. Now along the bottom, we need to add in some ring cuts for where the tires are going to go. We're going to go there, and we're going to pull those up, which means we're going to need some more here and here. And you'll see what I mean when I pull this one in the middle up. So I click this, I'll turn off wireframe mode and hit G and Z. And I'm going to pull it up a little bit. If you've still got face snap on, turn that off there, hit G and Z. We'll pull that up. Okay, and we can see that that's coming up a bit more. So, and it's also closer to the front. So I'm going to just grab all these faces here. Hit G, Y, move them that way, SY, scale them in a bit more, GY, move them closer to that front there, and then GZ, bring that up. Now I'm going to replicate these along the other end as well. So I'm just going to make 4 of them and then hit S and Y and scale them in roughly so they're the same size as the other ones. G and Y and move them along to that end. Let's have a look at the image, and they're pretty close to the back end but not quite that close. G, Y, move it back. All right, let's select that bottom face. G, Z, bring that up like that. Now it does have some bits that come out, so I'm going to add another ring cut going this way, and I'm going to select these faces. I'm going to add another ring cut going down here and another ring cut going down here. Another one there and another one at the front there. There's going to be lots of ring cuts on this model. There's probably different ways to do it. I don't normally do this many ring cuts, but I'm going to hit those there, those there, flip to the other side, select those and select those and hit S, X and scale them out just like that. All right, that's going to be pretty subtle on both sides, so that's cool. Going back to the car. All right, we've got this bumper at the front and the other side as well. So let's go ahead and model that. That's actually going to be a separate object, so we'll do that one later. We're going to do this stripe around here first. So let's go back to here, Control R. Now you'll see that when we do a ring cut now, as long as you haven't added a whole lot of edges, if it doesn't show up all the way, so hit A, F3, merge by distance, and hopefully that will fix any errors that you might have. But I just want to put this in, and then I'm going to just click it so it goes anywhere, and go SZ0. It's going to flatten it out. It's going to scale it so it's along that Z axis, 0. Bring it down to about here, and then do another ring cut above it like that. That's going to give us the detail that we want there. I'm actually going to bring that down a little bit lower because I want to start pulling the top of the truck in just above that. So let's select that edge, GZ, bring it down to about there, GZ, bring it down to just below the halfway line. Okay, now all of these edges here, I'm going to select them, and then this is where things are going to get a little bit messy. I'm actually going to select this one here, or maybe just this one. And I'm going to turn on proportional editing for it and hit G, Y. I'm going to pull that back like that. And I'm going to make sure that as I do that, I select the other edges that go with it. Okay, so if we just have a look at that, there's another way I can do this without proportional editing. Actually, that's probably a bit better. I'll just select all of these and hit G, Y and bring it back like that. That's not going to change the topology too much. And and that looks pretty good. So how steep is that? Not too bad. Okay, let's go back into here. I'm going to select this. This is probably the hardest part of the model to make. I'm going to select this edge down here. I'm holding shift as I do this, and then this one across the back. I'm going to scale these along the x-axis so they come in just a wee bit. If we look at it from the front, SX, scale it in. If I look at it from the front, it looks like that. Cool. And then the back ones, I'm going to select those along the top and bring them just in just a little bit. Okay, cool. Now this front face is pretty easy to sort out. I'm going to select it, I'm going to hit I and bring it in just a wee bit. That's going to give us that shape there. We are going to put a bevel on this top edge. I might just redo that. I bring it in a bit more. Cool. Going to put a bevel along this top edge, but not that one, and not there, and just those two sides, but not that. Cool. Control B will bevel it. I'm just going to bevel it just slightly, not too much. Cool. All right, that looks pretty good from the front. Looks like a neat little car. Okay, and then the side panels here, I'm actually going to do some more ring cuts along here. Now you'll see that my ring cuts don't go all the way around now, but they do go around both sides. I'm going to bring it down so that that roughly lines up with that, and do another one so that at the top kind of lines up with the window there. And it should be, it hasn't done it on both sides because the back has changed when I did the bevel. So I'll do it on this side as well, roughly to there and pretty close to the top there. Now with that done, if we look at the van, it's got two windows, one here, one here. So let's go ahead and do this one first here. So this window, it's got a kind of straight up and down. So let's go ahead and fix up some of the topology here. I'm going to grab these 2 points, and hit G, Y, and bring those back to about there. Okay, I'll put it in side view, G, Y, bring it back so that they're kind of straight up and down, pretty close to it. You don't want anything lines to overlap, but it doesn't matter if they're really thin like this here. Okay, and then we're going to make the window. So this here is going to be one of our windows. This is going to be the other. We don't actually need to do anything here. We can go ahead and start doing some coloring of it. We'll just add the spoiler to the end later. So we're pretty much kind of done with the model here. And there's a few things we could do to clean it up, but I won't worry about that at the moment. Let's go ahead and, actually let's go ahead, yep, we'll do some cleanup here. No, we won't. All right, let's go ahead and add the material. So truck color, and this is going to go over the whole material, remember, so let's give that the orangey color there. Now this is going to be one window, so I'm going to add a window color here. Window color, that's going to be like a black color, make it real dark. Cool, hit assign to that one. Now then I'm going to select these faces here and hit assign that. You see I get the two different windows. Same on this side here. Assign that. Assign that. And then the front window, of course, assign that. So if we go into edit mode, that's what it looks like, which looks pretty good. Now we want this color around here. So I'm going to select that whole ring around there and add, we'll call it truck white. And I will assign it to that. I might make it a little more gray. Cool, we've got that happening around there. Now there is some detail that gets put in the front here. So I'm actually going to add that in. Control R and Control R, and then I'll add, just go back, Control R, and I'll just add 2 of them. And then scale them along the X-axis. And there's like a panel right in the middle here, which I'm going to keep mine fairly simple. If I look at this, it's at the top actually. So it's this one, and I'll just assign it the same color as the window. Cool. All right, there is a handle on this one. I'm not worrying about that. Let's go ahead and add in the wheels down the bottom. Add mesh. This is just going to be a cylinder. It's going to be real easy. We'll go 10 sides on this, and I'm going to rotate along the x-axis. Like, I think that was the y-axis actually. Scale that down, scale it along the x-axis so it comes out. Just make it big enough so we can move it. And then I'll go into side view and hit G and position it down here, make it a little bit smaller, and then scale it along the x-axis so it comes out like that. Now, that looks stupid like this, but remember we're only going to see it from up here, so we're just going to keep it pretty simple and just have one. Now, in this, I'll go into edit mode for this and select this face and this face here and inset them like that. And I can also hit this one, just this one, extrude that in, go to the other side, select that one, extrude it in. Now colors for this, we're going to call this tire color. That's going to be black. And then we'll go wheel color, and I'll assign that to there and there. Oops, assign that. And what color is it on here? It's like a gray color. So let's make it a gray color here. Cool. All right, then I can duplicate that. Shift D, bring it down to here. Now lastly, we just need the bumper on here. This is going to be real easy. Add mesh cube, and I'm just going to scale it along, down really low, scale it along the x-axis, and then go into side view and position it where I want it to be, which is about there. Maybe scale it along the z-axis a little bit, move it up, and I'll just use the tire color for that. And I'm going to duplicate it and put it at the back as well. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Done. And we just need that spoiler on top. So we can actually do this pretty quickly as well. So scale this down and hit GZ, I'll bring it up and scale it down that way. SZ, scale it thin, scale it back a little bit, scale it wide. Don't want it wider than the car. X, about there. And I'll go into side view and hit G, bring it back to about here, rotate it a little bit, and then go into it. I'm just going to add in one ring cut here, and then 2 ring cuts here, and scale them along the x-axis. I've done something funny there, I think I can see. Oh no, it's just that's all good. And then this one, add 2, scale them along the x-axis. I'm not being exact here. I'm just kind of going visually. That's good. Select the faces on these. I'll inset them a little bit. And I'm actually going to go out, Control A, all transforms. Go back in, inset them a bit, and then extrude those down into the car. I'll move that one forward a little bit. L, G, Y. Cool. All right, so now going into here, that's what our car looks like. We can bring back the whole scene. I'm just going to hide this. I forgot to join all these things together. Control J. Why can't I join them? Join. GZ, I'll bring it up so that when I unhide this, looks like I got the size roughly right. So I can rotate that, GZ, bring it down, kind of sit it just on the grass there, and that looks pretty good. Okay, so that will be the hardest thing that we do. If you want to skip this video, I probably should have said that at the start and come back to it later. I'll mention it to you in class. But that one is done.